Hey, it's Bray here, Mountain Bike More, and I'm here at Maple Hill Trails. We were at Snow Summit Bike Park today. It didn't go as planned, so I'm up here getting a few extra laps in, getting my legs loose. So if you want some extra laps, they're free, or if you just want to get up here and ride a little bit, this area is pretty cool. There's a couple jumps, so we're going to try to find them on Freewill. And there's a pump track at the bottom, which isn't meant for my park bike. So I'll show it to you, but not quite there. We're right next to the high school, and I'll put a link in the description to my Strava ride. So if you want to find it on a map, it's all good. My son's over at the skate park. I rode from there, super close. We're in Sugarloaf. It's rad. I hope this helps. Mountain Bike More. All right, so I entered on Elementary Trail, and it's well signed. You can see the names as you go along, and they are rated, but really most of it's beginner intermediate. Even the Freewill and the other trail that's rated advanced, they're pretty darn mellow, especially when you consider what the bike park rates things at. These trails are pretty darn cool. They're mapped, so they're easy to kind of figure out, but it's also easy to get lost. Lots of different entrance points and lots of big signs at the entrance points, so you can kind of see what you're doing. But everything kind of cycles around the school. I imagine the history of this is it was built to get kids to school and from school, and now it's just kind of fun. So we're off on Elementary Trail, looking to eventually get to Freewill. And here's an intersection. Can't quite see what the trail is from one side, but we're going to continue on Elementary Trail. I did not look at the map today to try to figure out the best route. I'm just kind of doing it by feel from memory. Been out here a few times, and it's not a giant area. It's easy to go from one end to the other, but there are two loops at the top end, and then at the bottom it just kind of funnels you back up, and you can ride around the school and do all sorts of fun little things. So now Elementary Trail is kind of wrapping around. Looks like we're going to drop into something sooner than later, so let's hope we get into it. I think we're actually on the wrong ridge line for Freewill, but hey, this place is small, so if Elementary Trail doesn't take us to Freewill, which it doesn't look like it is right now, we just get a cruiser. Nice flow. I'm on the park bike. It's shaded, so it's cool. And here's a sign, and there's a split. I'm gonna go look at where things are. So there's trail signs here. So if I go left, it's the Baldwin Loop. If I go right, it's the Baldwin Loop, and I go Powell's Connector if I go straight. And I kind of think Powell's Connector is the one we take, but I could be wrong. So let's check on Powell's Connector and see if that gets us to Freewill. If not, we'll get there eventually. I don't think it does, but I'm going to try it anyways. So we're on Powell's Connector, and it's going the opposite direction of the one we want, but it might loop back around onto Freewill. So let's go see. There's some whoops right here. Clearly, they're pretty steep, but they're fun. This is definitely one of the steeper trails, and it's not that steep. Here's some more whoops. Not a high-speed flow through here. It's rocky, loose rocks. So you're not just gonna send it like you would in the bike park where you can just rip every berm, no concern. All right, intersection, Powell's Connector and the Baldwin Loop, or Tom's Connector. This will definitely go to the bottom, but I wanna take it. We're gonna take Tom's Connector to the bottom. Don't get too rad here on your first run, because I've flown off a few times And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Look at those whoops. You hit those too fast and it could be ugly. Tom's Connector is a pretty narrow trail. Woo! Just fun. I mean, puts a smile on your face being out here, just cruising in the shadows, cool breeze. There's a little berm. I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom. So we're on School Loop, which is a gentle climb. And we're gonna come back up to one of the farms here. But School Loop gets us up, but we're taking it to the very, very bottom just so you can see the pump track. And here's the highway near the bottom. This is a neighborhood, but the highway is right here. The pump track's next to the highway. All right, here goes the old man that doesn't know what he's doing in the pump track. So this is what I think the direction is supposed to be. Clearly, I don't have the speed to do much here, but I got a full squish, by the way. That's a full suspension bike that eats up all your energy. And that is the pump track. I'm not even done yet and I'm out of breath. So you want to bring some kids that have tons of energy, have them come out here, make sure they clean up after themselves, and have a blast. All right, so after a brief rest, I'm just gonna hop on School Loop. I don't know if there's truly a direction to it. I'm following this arrow, but I've gone up the other direction as well. The other direction was so gentle of a climb. I would say you get a kid that's, you know, in their early, 12 teen, they could pedal up it. I think that's what it's meant for. You can see there was a connector to our left, but we're following School Loop. Plenty of signage, and we're just gonna pedal up. And if I see any connectors, I'll point it out. It says School Loop, so it's probably, I mean, look at the map. It's most likely a loop that goes up both sides and comes down in the middle. Cool. So up, and away we go. I think it's a 5-minute climb. And I don't know if you saw that sign. It said School Loop this way, even though School Loop was that way. There's a lot of school loops here. Our trails named School Loop. So just kind of follow them up and don't stress over making wrong turns. You can get stuck in a couple spots up here, but for the most part, School Loop will get you down to the bottom. Elementary trail will get you out near the top. And then there's a few other options around here that we'll see if we can find and explore. All right, so we've come to the junction of School Loop and Elementary Trail, and School Loop continues down to the right. We're gonna go up Elementary Trail, and hopefully we can figure out where we made a wrong turn and find what we're looking for. Freewill, a couple jumps. School Loop is just a gentle climb. Even on a park bike, it's manageable, not a problem. And you pedal right next to the school for a bit, and there's a little bridge. It's cool. All right, so this time on Elementary Trail, we're gonna turn onto Baldwin Loop. And I think I remember that being the ticket to get us over to Freewill. But, we'll see. It's not like we don't have the time to get here. I'm just cruising. But if you're with a kid who's like dying for jumps and they're antsy, maybe look at the map. But if you're with adults that are just chill, we just passed Tom's Connector. That's what we went down last time. So we're still on Baldwin Loop, and this should get us to Freewill. Tom's Connector was fun, but Freewill should be funner. All right, so here's a pretty big junction. We have Baldwin Loop straight, and we have, let's see what's up here to the left. This is Freewill, hard left. So we're at the bottom of Freewill. Yay, we got there. So we're on prime mover. Prime mover will take us up and we'll loop back on to Freewill. There is a hike-a-bike section if you want to hike it and get up there faster. I don't know if that's recommended by the trail maintenance people, but we're going up prime mover. And we're stuck because now we know we got to the bottom of it. So now we're going to the top of it. We'll get to jump. All right, so we're coming up prime mover. This is not as easy as schoolyard, so if you have someone that doesn't like to climb at all, you're going to want to look at the map and try to hit the top of Freewill and save yourself on this climb. All right, so here is a magic spot where prime mover meets Baldwin Loop, and we wanted to be on Baldwin Loop, the high side. So Baldwin Loop goes to the bottom of Freewill and it goes to the top of Freewill. Baldwin Loop, the magic trail name if you're trying to find Freewill. 20 seconds past that trail, we have found our trail, Freewill. Not the easiest, it's not an easy flow trail. You gotta kind of figure it out, so you just don't full send. But look at this little thing, it's like 6 feet, that's about 8 feet. These turns are challenging, but they're cool and fun, and you're pushing your bike around. The rocks make them drift a bit. There's these whoops, all sorts of things. It's a little soft when people skid in there. I try not to, but you know, it's Freewill, yeah! And these rocks take some time to get used to. I'm not used to them right now. I was on the bike park today where it's almost perfect. And here we go, here's a jump I don't have the speed for. Didn't remember it. All right, here's another one. Maybe about 6-8 footer in length. Maybe a 2 foot lip, there's another one. Safe. So there's 2 sections of jumps so far on Freewill. There's these whoops. There's that thing, I don't know what that was, that's a jump. Here's a bigger jump in height, but not in length. That bottom section takes some speed. Now it looks like a real trail, how it's single track. I'm out of breath. And so there's these whoops coming up. And I'll look to see if I can find the old footage from when we were here last year. If I remember right, here's a fun section where you can get the speed you want. Yep, here we go. And there we go, just one jump at the end. And we're back on prime mover. So that was Freewill. Baldwin Loop was the key. So what you really want to do, where we went wrong, is you get on elementary trail right from the get-go, and there'll be a left fork over here that's called 2 turns connector. 2 turns connector. I think it's more than 2 turns, even though the name says 2 turns, and it'll take you down, and you'll get a little nervous because you're going down, but that'll take you to Baldwin Loop. So let's see how that all turns out. All right, so here's our fork. Notice the sign doesn't face us. You see elementary trail up to the right. We're going to your left, and it's going to say 2 turns connector. All right, so now we're on the right path to Freewill. And here, maybe it was only 2 turns after there. Here we're at Baldwin Loop, and we're just going to pedal on it. The trail flows us directly the way we want to go, and this will take us to Freewill. As always, if you like this video, hit like. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe. It's coming on the time of the year where I don't post as much. Just too much going on, so don't be afraid. I'm not going to be injured, hopefully. Ask me questions, as always. I want to help you mountain bike more. That's what started this channel years ago. Was I was coming out to places like this, and just getting lost. And so I wanted to help others not get lost. And so I started this channel. So if you see me out here, see me on a chairlift, see me anywhere, just say more. Mountain bike more. Ride more. Subscribe. Laugh more.
Like. Crash more. Comment.
Crash more. Comment.